Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the Everything and Nothing Show. I'm just one of your hostess with the mostest, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, Clayton Kisko, and I'm accompanied, of course, by the rest of the Maelstrom gamers, a.k.a. the underdogs in gaming. With us on this podcast, we have with us today the bad boy, Steve Landis. Oh, whoa. Yeah, he's dancing. I gotta make sure I talk over that or else we'll get flagged.
Yeah.
I did, that's why I stopped it immediately.
Okay. Next up, we have the A-Train, Mr. T House, Alan Tollner.
What up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you just do the suck it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Bringing it back. And last, but certainly not least, we have the artist formerly known as the Enigma, a.k.a. the Wild Card, Ian Kane.
What is going on,
What's
guys?
going on, buddy?
Boom.
Not bad, not bad.
We've
That's
been
right.
watching some E3 stuff, and we're ready to talk about it and share it with everyone here. But first, the old intro. For those of you guys who don't know or just joining us, the format of the show is very simple. Us, Maelstrom Gamers, we hop on to Skype every week, and we bring 5 topics for our discussion, but more importantly, for your entertainment. Each topic is put onto our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel, and each topic is Monday through Friday, video by video on YouTube, and on Saturday, all topics are rolled up into one giant episode that you can get, and all of this is for you for free. But if you'd like to get it early or have other various rewards, you can give us as little as $1, which is like way less than the coffee you get, the third one in the day when you're strolling in the afternoon, you pick it up, and it's like $5-6 at Starbucks. You can take one of those dollars. You can go over to patreon.com/MaelstromGamers, and you give that $1 to us, and then we can put it back into the show. It's awesome.
Yeah. David Fry.
We can get better mics. We can get better video. We can put guests on this panel. We can do crazy things like go to E3 and do all this other fun stuff. So it's greatly appreciated. But look, we're not going to hound you. If you don't have money, that's cool too. There's other ways to support us that are equally as important. You guys can comment, like, share, and subscribe on our Facebook page, on our Twitter account, Instagram account, and our YouTube page. It's super, super helpful, and the people who have been doing it have been really great. However, I do have a problem that the Flat Earthers are probably the most responsive of the group. So
Biggest vocal group.
yeah, let's
followers.
stick it to them, guys. Like, let's like our page. Let's follow us and subscribe us on YouTube, and let's comment on these guys and let them know that they're very silly and that the Earth is not flat. I'd like
sure
to
about
outweigh
that?
them in the comments.
Yeah, can you prove it, Clay?
I
Get
can
started.
prove it. Yeah, Steve, don't be a troll. Also, real quick, on a more sincere note, I wanted to dedicate this episode, and I mean, I don't know how, like, we have like 66 followers, so it's really not that big of a deal. But I did want to just take a note of the tragedy that happened last week, with Orlando shooting, the mass shooting, the poor 2-year-old boy that was taken by an alligator, and the singer, the singer-songwriter who was shot as well in Orlando. So Orlando's just dealing with a lot right now. We have 2 Floridians with us on this podcast, so it also makes a lot of sense just to take a moment and dedicate this episode to them. So we're hopefully going to have a lot of fun, and we'll just kind of, in honor of them.
Good.
I don't know, maybe I'll put something at the end or whatever. It's worth noting, I don't care what you guys think, but I think, in the event, something needs to change, and I would urge everybody to really start thinking about it critically, and we got to kind of, I mean, this has been 5 years, 10 years now that since this stuff has been happening. We kind of like, whatever, something has to change, and whatever it is, just like do something. So get active, vote on a local level, which is super important, and on a national level, just be involved and continue the conversation with people, because that helps keep it going and keep it in the minds of people so that hopefully we can make a change moving forward.
Huge.
Huge. Okay.
Huge change.
Off on the sincere note, let's get started with our podcast. As you guys know, this is going to, well, you guys don't know, I'm going to tell you right now. This is an E3-centric themed episode. So each episode is going to be covering a different conference. But you're like, Clay, there's only 4 conferences, and you have 5 days with 5 topics. That makes no sense. It's okay. Steve was so kind as to host the final topic, which will be the best and worst of E3.
Yeah.
And I know you guys care about our thoughts on that. So on Friday, we'll cover all the different conferences, and then the last topic will be our own little awards of best and worst. We'll kind of just really talk about it. We don't really have any awards. So
Can you explain, perhaps, for the non-gamer inclined viewers, what E3 is?
Yeah, thank you. E3 is, Sarah asked that same question like last week. E3 stands for Electronic Entertainment Boutique.
Expo.
Thank you.
Expo.
I was thinking
E3.
EB Games.
Yeah,
E3.
Oh, yeah, E3. Thank you.
It's
and
like
so,
EEB.
and E3 is an interesting beast because I feel like it's changed drastically over the years. Originally, it was only for press, and only press got involved, and a ton of games were being released or like announced, and you had first footage ever, and this stuff was getting trickled out in all the different news sites via the press. And then at some point, they opened it up to people, and then it became like this giant like show where you got to play these games for the first time as a public, and there was like bigger conferences, and then it shut down for a little bit, and then it came back, and now it's really like, and now like each year there's less and less conferences and publishers and companies going to them, showing off their games, partly because I think it is a very stressful and unintuitive way to show your game. It really causes a lot of progress to get halted and forced in the game development. So a lot of times, you're building a game and you're working towards like maybe a vertical slice, but E3 is like smack dab in the like quarter of it, and you're like, well, this doesn't make sense for us to like bust our hump and crunch to get just some kind of demo that will get thrown away anyway and probably make people feel like, oh, you lied to us. So when companies have done in the past, it's really bit them, including like Bungie, and so I think less companies are opting into this E3 because they realize it's not that big of a launching point as it once was or perceived to be.
Yeah. I also think that they all have their own conferences nowadays, too.
Yeah.
Like there's always like a Microsoft only one, and there's always like a Sony only thing, and there's just more game development showcases throughout a year.
Yeah.
Than I think there used to be, where E3 was like the one to go to and get everything for. Now it's like you can have one at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, fall, end of the year, and there's lots of outlets to get your info from games these days.
Really great point. PAX is another big one.
Yeah, PAX, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So now, what does it become basically? It's basically become the console developers, Nintendo,
Right.
Microsoft, Sony. It's really been about them and their hardware innovations, new consoles, game. What would it be? Game exclusives.
Oh, yeah,
Those tend to be like the big things that you see and expect from E3 these days. So really, it's just like a gamer's wet dream, so that they can like see all the new, latest, and greatest stuff. So Rocco got added to the call, and I'm readjusting everyone's
Yeah, that sucks.
thing here really quickly.
I think it would be pretty cool to go to E3 at
Oh, shit. Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake, is that you?
Oh,
man.
snap.
So yeah, I agree
right.
with you, Ian. E3 would be great to go to. I would
Well,
love
where was it located at this year?
It's usually always in LA, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Rocco.
We can hear
but
you.
You are a pixelated mess. And we're back. Rocco is still having trouble. We will figure that out in a minute. But we're not delaying any longer. Let's get into it. Let's start out with, in order of the conferences that happened. So, Ian, we will start with you. Let's talk about Ubisoft. Let's talk about EA.
Yeah, kind of had a pretty big topic here. I had three big hitters, EA, Bethesda, and Ubisoft. And we're going to be sitting here, and I'm going to kick it off with a little bit of EA, who I think kind of fell short in the E3.
Nice.
Only because, they really didn't have anything kind of jumping out. They showed, of course, their typical releases of, FIFA, Madden. All those are every year come out, so that wasn't a big surprise, of course. One thing I did see that was pretty cool was actually someone from Uncharted. Her name is Amy Hennig. She
Hennig.
joined, huh?
The lead writer on Uncharted and Last of Us, I believe.
Right. So she joined them, and she's working on a new Star Wars game, which I think would be pretty cool. Like, I mean, because I never played the Uncharted games until as of nice, Rocco.
Man, well, I don't know what you did, Rocco, but we went from the fugly boy to the
The most
heartthrob.
beautiful man in the world.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Woman back before him. He's the most amazing man in the world. That guy. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, guys.
Rocco. Okay.
Men want to be him.
Interrupt there, but I just need to give myself like that formal introduction I didn't get.
And
Oh,
there
you're
goes
going
his
back to
voice.
fugly. You're going back to
That's
fugly.
what you should say. Ladies love him and men want to be him.
All
Right, Evelino.
right, let's
Nice.
roll.
All right. Sorry, Ian was in the middle of discussing Amy Hedwig's new project, working with
Yeah,
EA.
which is Star Wars,
Not
which I
related
think.
to Battlefront.
Are you?
Pretty it's not Battlefront. It's a new
No,
Star Wars
it's
game.
another Battlefront.
It's gonna be a new one. I believe that she's working on. And if it's like the Uncharted game that we're playing right now, I think that'd be pretty cool.
You gotta imagine it's
Yeah.
gonna be story
Uncharted-
character driven. So like a Boba
Yeah.
Fett game or a Han
For
Solo
sure,
game.
for sure.
Uncharted 4 right now is pretty impressive. So
Right, and this lady, she's the what did you say, head designer or
The
developer?
lead writer.
Lead writer, yeah. So she's working on that with EA. So, and I kind of teased it before the podcast for everyone. But EA, one thing that they're doing is they're actually helping indie games out, helping them kind of publish their games and everything
that's
under
right, I
their
did see
banner.
Oh, cool.
So, which is huge because I mean, like, there's a lot of indie games out there, and I think that will really help them out.
It's kind of
Especially
like
if they're
Steam's Greenlight project
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
Where they
So, and I
held
mean,
back- Okay,
and you
sorry.
said this was EA that's doing this?
yeah, and I mean that's a huge company to be backing some of these indie games and everything. So
Yeah.
I think that would really help out people that have great ideas and concepts.
It's smart of them, bro. Monopolize the market.
Boom, make some
Start
money off
capturing everybody. Acquisition time. Just
Exactly.
buy all the studios up. Then it's just EA. So or at the end of the day, they'll get down to 3 game studios, and that'll be all there is.
I hope there's more indies. Like we're in a indie renaissance there for a while, and it felt awesome because it felt like it was the only thing I was attracted to, and felt fun. Felt like it was fun playing. So I hope that's like it's like the only place I get to go to even play a platformer these days, and so I'm really hoping it keeps up.
Name a game that's indie.
Well, Super
Sure.
Meat
That
Boy
you play,
was
that you like.
indie. I think Limbo was technically indie.
Yeah.
Two Brothers.
Indiana
I mean,
Jones,
that
Two
game was
Brothers.
amazing. Or
Okay,
Brothers
okay.
or whatever. Yeah, Two Brothers.
See, I was
is
just
a
trying to
different-
figure out what games I might have played that were indie games and I didn't know it.
Rocket League
I would
is
think-
technically
I would think
indie,
that I would
right?
have known.
Rocket League. Yeah, Rocket
Yeah,
League.
sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So like,
Did you play Journey for PlayStation?
Journey.
No, I never played that.
Journey was the.
I
don't
know,
think I
Guys.
played.
I know. You had a whole topic on how amazing it
Right.
was.
Right. And that was like
You
a
guys
year
have a
ago,
PS4.
almost now.
I have an excuse.
I think I watched you guys play that game though. Didn't I? No, maybe
Not
not.
sure.
Was that the one that was going on in college? What game was that?
No.
No, this
That was-
game only just came out.
that was
like,
Jay was
uh,
playing and all that.
Shadow of
and-
Colossus.
Okay, that's what that was. Yep, Shadow of
Oh, yeah.
Colossus. Was that an indie game?
No.
No.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking because they look creatively different than
That's
everybody
true.
else.
It had-
So
it
I
had
thought
the-
maybe perhaps
It
it
does
was.
have a different aesthetic for sure.
Yeah.
It was just
I don't
huge. It was a big game. So like.
I'll actually talk about that because Sony has a
Yeah.
game similar.
Cool.
All right, I gotcha.
So the other cool thing that EA is doing is they've put in place this like achievement thing, like when you make an achievement in the games and stuff, they're actually going to donate to charities.
Oh, really?
Cool.
I didn't dive like crazy far into it. I just kind of scratched the surface of it, but yeah. So that's how they're going to actually start donating to charities. Is like, oh hey, if you reach this in
You
the
get
game,
trophies.
yeah,
for-
the trophies and stuff
Okay.
like that. It's like
Very
we'll
cool.
donate so much money to this cause. And I mean, if you think about it, with how many people that play their games and stuff, I could probably get kind of up there in the
Yeah.
prices. So I don't know like how much they're willing to do per trophy or something of that sort. But I thought that was a pretty cool concept, though. You know,
Imagine it would be like the tiers, the kind of the same tiers that they have on the achievements themselves. Some require ridiculous amounts
Amount
of
of
time to
time,
complete.
yeah.
right?
Other ones just are extremely difficult. So I imagine it could be anywhere from a few cents to maybe a couple bucks per one,
Yeah.
considering
Right.
there's millions of gamers out there.
That is gonna be- So I'm sorry to like interrupt and jump right in. Do you got a quick summary of like what EA had announced like game wise? Did you already go over that or
I went
mean,
over what
basically-
E3 is. Are you talking about Ian or me?
Ian?
Oh.
Is Ian's topics EA right?
And
I got
Ubisoft
EA.
and
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
Bethesda,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
but basically, EA, a lot of people are saying, and I kind of felt the same way, is that they were kind of underwhelming with their games. They had their typical FIFA coming out, and the big thing on FIFA was that there's like more story mode driven, but still, they're sports games.
Yeah.
I never really got too far into story modes on those games. I don't know if you guys had.
Well, that's a big deal for FIFA, at least, because there's the first time they've ever had story mode, and it looks
Right.
like a real cinematic like story where you start from bottom league and you make it all the way to you play for Manchester United by the end of it.
Man,
Um,
if you could invest in Major League Soccer now would be the time, man, because it's like starting to get like even the gaming audience, like they're capturing you
Yeah.
that way too as well. They're trying to get people involved in this
Mhm.
to see like what happens in the soccer league, you know?
Yeah, it looks like a Grand Theft Auto almost story element where you have like these little cutscenes that push the story along.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic looks very similar to Grand Theft Auto, like especially San Andreas.
Is
Very
that
cool.
as a FIFA player? Are
Or
you
not San
interested
Andreas,
in that?
the new one.
So
No, I have no interest in it.
I didn't
actually.
think so
Story
either.
mode?
That was my thought too, because from what I understand, that the allure of FIFA is the controls and the moment-to-moment gameplay.
It is
the meta
but
of a
at the same
story.
time, yeah, I know people want a little bit more story element to feel like it's rather than when you're playing a season, you're just playing every single game like over and over and over and over again. So like something, a little bit of customization at level. So if you play a character, like a player story season, you have a little bit more attachment other than seeing your name on the back of a character. Or if you're playing a manager, you feel like you're doing something more than just taking over the game and being the manager. You actually have something that makes it a little bit more unique. Like, I want to wear this. I want to see my guy like standing on the sidelines being the manager.
Yeah,
I think they just missed some of that.
Because
in
Madden
the
has a
games.
really great formula in the fact that like after every game you see like, and these are like real named news guys and stuff like that, and they have little
Yeah,
blurbs
yeah.
of like, oh, so and so
Yeah.
killed a record or blah blah blah, and then they
They
have
do
stories.
that.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
what
they
they're
do that.
introducing in Madden is basically instead of playing a game after game, you can just play the big moments, and so you can go through seasons and get a bigger story too. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Maybe they could do something like maybe they went over the top with the whole story mode and like doing it like the GTA,
It
deal.
sounds like it.
And maybe like it should have just been something like it was like a cinematic event that at the end of like the thing that went down, like you could give 3 different answers and it would send you down a different path that you can kind of
That'd be
like
cool.
customize your guy. Like
That would be pretty
I think
cool.
I would go with this choice. So you hit that choice and then it goes, oh, happened.
Oh well, they do kind of have
this-
something similar.
So
like
it's
you can
like
talk
not
up
like-
a player, or
Oh,
you can like motivate them, or also
Yeah.
like kind of badmouth them to like motivate them in a different way. And then same thing, you can say like about your upcoming opponent, you can say like, yeah, they're pretty good, or no, I'm pretty sure we're going to dominate them, and then it'll reflect in like a newspaper headline. But
Nice.
again, it's just like the same kind of things that they recycle over and over. So there's like 3 options basically for the entire game.
Right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so there's other games to cover.
Yeah, definitely. And so pretty much that's most of EA right there. I mean, they compared to their previous years, they didn't have that many titles. So, but we'll jump over to like some good ones here, like Ubisoft. I think they did pretty well during their whole E3 conference.
Mass Effect. No.
Yeah,
Totally off.
Yeah, they got a bunch of things here. One thing that I thought was really funny is during their conference is they, of course, are with South Park.
Yeah.
And they have a new game coming out, and it's called Fractured But Whole. But
I'm
it's
5.
fractured, but
That's a good
B-U-T,
one.
and then, whole, like the actual, not your asshole. So
You know what they're
Hey.
talking about.
Yeah,
I
very
was cracking up.
Yeah.
I was cracking up at that.
So I
but,
haven't I've seen the trailer, but that is as much as I've seen,
Yeah.
which was very Division inspired.
Mhm.
But what I understand is that it's not like a fantasy RPG; it's more of a superhero kind of RPG. So you're playing different superhero aliases of the South Park universe. Like Cartman has the one guy, and then there's like the other dude with the purple hood. Like, and Butters has got his guy. Like you're playing those characters, in a setting. I don't. Was there anything more announced beyond that?
Not that, nothing too exciting, honestly. But at least for South Park. But a lot of things that were coming out in this year was VR, which is virtual reality.
Yeah.
A lot of people are trying to tap into that. And one game that they were talking about was Eagle Flight. And think of it like almost like Capture the Flag is what they were showing. And you're literally an eagle, and they have like different areas and everything. The one that I was watching was based in Paris, and like you literally have to just go and get the rabbit and then bring it back to your nest. And it's like a 3 versus 3. Graphics were okay.
My problem with these new like peripherals and technology is that like these initial like demo like these games are not games and their narratives are shit. Like
No, they're terrible. Yeah.
you're an eagle, you gotta pick up. It's like, dude, I want to be a space marine and I
they're
want to
trying to
grab
get
a
it
space
out.
marine.
I want to be a
flag.
space
Like,
marine.
what the hell is this? This is them.
They're basically tech demos.
They're running out of ideas.
They've made tech demos because
Yeah.
that's all they're interested in. They're like, oh, maybe we'll sell this for a game, and it's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
No one
and
wants to play
honestly,
Eagle.
exactly. It was
Hey
such
man,
a
I
weird
want to be an
concept.
eagle. This has been my dream, like
Yeah,
my
you
entire
wanna
life.
be a
This
dragon.
game
One
right
guy-
here is
one
my
guy
dream
watching
game.
E3 's
Okay,
like-
Clay. Okay, Clay. You're about to like,
Finally,
shatter
it's
my
happened.
dream.
Take my money.
Yeah, yeah.
One of these. That game was all about me. They made it for
America.
America. I could be an eagle all day, every day.
Yeah. Then you can get
Anyway.
like skins for the eagle, like Donald
Yeah.
Trump shirt.
Beat
Everything.
up
yeah,
the
yeah.
rabbit.
The hair.
And then- if I was my VR headset, just shaking it around. The
Yeah.
rabbit.
There's a big fight.
I would
between
love
a
to see that in
Canadian goose.
VR. That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious. You
The
shake your
rabbit
head like
just- rabbit just.
I
breaks into
don't know
different
why.
pieces.
I was watching
It's
Rocco
too
like
violent.
twerk his head, and I just thought how funny it would be if someone were to walk in on Rocco with his VR. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if someone walked in on Rocco while Rocco was watching VR porn? Because I imagine he'd be like really lounged on the couch.
It
with
wouldn't
his
be
head
funny
just
at
like-
all because I probably wouldn't know at all what's
And you would
going
know
on. And I'm
instantly
sure I'd
if
be
he's
touching
watching VR
myself
porn.
somehow or another.
I-
And these
knowing-
people are gonna be walking in, and I'm
Sorry.
gonna still be doing it because I'm wearing a headset. And I
Sorry.
have no clue.
No,
That's
knowing
an
Rocco
image I
is
don't
like
want.
this.
They're terrible.
All right, what else we got?
Yeah, what else?
What else?
Something that I think a bunch of us here are gonna like is there's some new updates coming out to the Division. So yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this, like from kind of what I was watching, there's like gonna be a survival mode, which seemed kind of cool, but it literally the trailer just looked like a normal thing in the game, and they talked about how the weather was gonna be crazier, and it just seems more like you don't have as much, I guess, resources and items, so like you're really trying to struggle to survive. But the trailer I just felt wasn't that great because
Is it like a DZ location? Like you got to go to this place, and then all of a sudden, like your ammo no longer refills and stuff, or your health doesn't.
I'm not quite sure yet. I
Okay.
didn't get too far into that, but from what I was noticing and stuff like that, it looks like just maybe another section, I guess.
Okay.
Not sure if it's going to be like a DZ or not. One thing they do have, though, it's like an underground area that they're building, and it's like you keep progressing through to see how far you can get. Like it's really difficult. It's
Like a
like-
zombies for
It's like
Call of Duty.
dungeons, actually.
Right,
It's
it's almost
dungeons.
like a dungeon crawl. I would, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right. That seems kind of cool, though.
The
I
DLC
like
is
that
coming
idea.
out June 17th.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
a DLC.
Or
Or
Xbox
Sorry.
and PC.
And I was gonna ask you guys that. Why do they do it to like Xbox and PC and then delay it for PS4?
Because
Like,
Microsoft pays for
Pays
the
for it?
exclusivity. Yeah.
okay, that's
So
what I was.
it's not going to come out for until August for PlayStation.
Now,
Wow.
the other thing that kind of aggravated me, which it's kind of diving into like Bethesda and
Yeah.
stuff like that, is I don't like these trailers that are literally just a fucking movie. Show me the gameplay. It's like, okay, cool. I could sit there and make like a badass like trailer movie of this game coming out, and then you get the game and like, dude, this is terrible. It looks nothing like the trailer.
You know what really grinds my gears?
It just hypes you up, you know. And I mean,
Well,
it's not-
what games particularly did that?
Because I would argue that in some cases
Wait.
it adds to it. There's some cases where you
Hey,
feel like
you're
it's trying
that
to.
gameplay, for me at least. Your face.
Rocker said something about face. He's going back to ugly mode. Because there's some cases that it helps build the hype, but there's other cases that it feels like it's trying to supplement gameplay.
Right.
So yeah, I think Alan's question is valid. I'm interested
Right.
to know
It's
what
different.
games-
I think there's a difference between a hype trailer, because everybody, in my opinion, likes to see a cool cinematic trailer where you get like the feeling, the vibe of what the
Yeah.
game is, even if it doesn't necessarily look like what the game is. Like a great example for me is Knights of the Old Republic, or the Old Republic, the MMO trailers.
Yeah.
They are done by Blur Studios in California, and they look amazing. The fight choreography is amazing. But at the same time, it's a pre-rendered cinematic, so obviously the graphics are miles and miles and miles ahead of what the actual gameplay looks like.
Right.
However, the animation in the gameplay is very similar to what you see in the game itself. So you see them like jumping through the air with the lightsaber, smashing, like doing certain moves, and then when you end up playing the game, even though it's not to the same graphical fidelity as what the pre-rendered thing is, it still has that same impact and same feeling. So
Yeah,
I think if they capture those two elements together in a pre-rendered cinematic, then I think that's a good start to get you really amped up for the game.
Oh, I definitely get that. But it was just like Quake. They were showing it at E3, and
Quake?
Yeah, Quake Champions.
Yeah, Quake Champions.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally, like it was like a little movie, and I'm like, okay, well, at this, shouldn't you be showing more gameplay and stuff, and not like, okay, cool, it is hyping it up, but
What was the first-person shooter we were playing by Blizzard called again? What was that game?
Overwatch?
Overwatch. Okay,
Yeah.
it was like it's kind of like Overwatch, I guess, like with that whole scenario. It's like
Yeah.
that trailer like was like awesome for me. Really, for me, the gameplay and stuff like that is very similar to what you were seeing inside of that cinematic. So like, I agree with Alan there, but at the same time, I felt pretty let down with the gameplay. You know what I mean?
I think
Although I did get to see gameplay with that trailer too as well.
Right.
It wasn't like it was just that was all I got to see. You know what I mean?
now, go ahead, Glenn.
I just like I think it really depends too on where the project cycle is. When you first hear a game, there's a level of acceptance when I see a trailer like that does not have any gameplay. When the game's coming out in a couple months or it's like halfway through development, I expect to see some kind of gameplay. Like
Yeah, exactly.
or else
Yeah.
you're not going to really build any hype for me. Like the new Hideo Kojima game that was a perfect example of how I'm totally okay with no gameplay because it was so weird and it had such a strong vibe and raised enough questions for me to like kind of think about that I'm fed. My bucket is filled in those terms, and then I'm assuming I'll get a gameplay trailer maybe next year or later in the year, and that's okay. Quake
I mean, that's
Champions
true
is
too,
interesting
stuff like
because we know what Quake is. And
Right.
Yeah.
they're gonna change it, and so I feel more involved in the gameplay aspect because here's the other thing is that Quake doesn't have a narrative. Quake has always just been go in and shoot.
Right.
So
it's
when
just
you're gonna
deathmatch.
right,
Yeah,
and so
just
when you're
deathmatch,
when
yeah.
you're saying we're gonna take Quake and we're gonna put a very impactful word underneath it as champions, which could mean MOBA, it could mean an Overwatch type game, like that to me screams more about the gameplay that I then expect to see. So it's there's a couple different variables there that like
That's
really-
exactly the way the Overwatch cinematics are. All they're doing is building up story elements behind the characters you play, even though those elements aren't really at all in the game.
However,
Right, yeah.
Overwatch, like we didn't know anything about it. It had no
Right.
preconceptions, and so
Yeah.
I was okay with. I was like, this is neat. I'm watching like a Pixar cinematic. My mind is going everywhere for what it could be, but because I know what Quake is, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm like, how does this gameplay work now? Like that's where my mind immediately wants to go to.
Yeah.
So it's weird for me.
Yeah, and I don't mind, those cinematics and everything. It's just like when I'm sitting there watching these things, I'm like, okay, I want to know what this game's going to be about. I don't want to sit there and buy a $60 game and be like, what the fuck? This has nothing to do with it.
Or before you
what they
pre-order
showed
it,
me.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but to go back to Ubisoft, they had a few other games coming out and everything, and I'll just quickly kind of go over them. But what was pretty cool is they have a game called Star Trek Bridge Crew coming out. I don't know if you guys heard about that yet, but
People are stoked.
I know it actually looks kind of cool, but I think it might get a little boring at times. But it's another virtual reality, and honestly, I'm not a big virtual reality fan, but this one actually looked pretty
Not
cool.
yet,
So,
at least.
exactly, I guess.
So
So
it gets that porn.
Like, I'm a virtual reality fan every day.
And twice on Sunday.
So, but like you get a it's kind of like it's a multiplayer. So each person has their own job, and like you're in there, and you if like someone is not doing their job, you're gonna lose. So you have to work together. There's a team aspect to it, and what was kind of cool is that they brought in Star Trek actors to play the game.
Like
So
Simon Pegg or something.
what's that?
Like Simon Pegg and
They had
No original actors, I think.
no like LeVar Burton. The
oh, really?
black dude, yeah. So he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
sitting
The more
there,
you know.
and it was funny because if you watch it, like, and they were talking about how he's like calling out things and stuff like that, like he was really on the ship. So
Yeah.
Dude, it's a
pretty
Star
fun.
Trek fan's wet dream. Like,
Yeah,
you were
it is.
playing Star Trek scenarios, and
Did it actually look fun to do all the jobs?
yeah,
Yeah,
'cause they're
I mean-
important. You have to do them.
and that's the thing when you just watch the video. So like you'll see them playing and stuff like that, and I could see like they're getting attacked and they're trying to, the engineers trying to do this and like they're calling out things. So I could see where it would be kind of fun, but how far is it going to go is the question.
It's like multiplayer FTL, right? In VR
Right.
with the Star Trek narrative.
Right.
So I feel like I could definitely get behind of like if I'm the guy who's repairing stuff, like I can kind of get behind that, or if you know what I mean.
If it's fun though, but like if it's just hold X on this like socket and then hold X on this like wrench thing, then that's
Exactly.
gonna get boring after like 2 games.
And that's
Yeah.
I'm basically saying is like how in depth is this going to be? I mean, you're literally just sitting in there and like, oh hey, I got to press this and then do that. And it could get boring after a while. So
Yeah, but
So
it
that's-
was
you
like
guys
50
haven't
knobs.
Sorry.
What?
I was gonna say I'm
like
surprised you
if
guys
there's
haven't
knobs,
mentioned any other games yet that I've seen at the E3.
like which
Like
one?
what?
The God of War one.
Dude, we're not on those conferences.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're not
No,
Ah,
no.
my bad.
We're talking
That's
about
I mixed up with
Ubisoft.
conferences. I mixed up
I-
with
I just-
conferences.
I got-
Steve, just stay in
Steve.
the corner, bro.
Steve.
Stay in the corner.
Steve.
Turn around, bro. Turn around.
So I know my topic's running long, so I'll just jump into Bethesda and we'll just go over those kind
Sorry,
of
I
quick.
don't know the names of the fuck.
Yeah. But
I
Bethesda,
just played
just play 'em,
This is
bro.
good. This is good. It's educational.
Educational.
they teased Wolfenstein. If you guys ever played those games back in the day, they're going to come out with a new one of those. Of course, Doom. They're coming out with like new maps and like they're also having like this
gotta play it.
where you create the areas like a map builder.
Okay.
That they're going to be doing. And then we went over Quake. They have a new game coming out called Prey that looks pretty cool.
Shit, that was a big surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like it's like
Prey.
out in space and it's kind of a first-person survival shooter.
Do you guys
Is
remember the
what I-
original Prey on 60?
That's
I
actually
think it was like
pretty
GameCube
cool. No.
or something.
No.
It was like
No, I
you
didn't
played
play
a
it.
Native American. It was like a first-person shooter, and like aliens came down and you shot them, and then they were gonna make a Prey 2, and it got canceled, and then it got picked up again, and it got canceled or something like that, and then now this came out.
Right.
Looks
So
interesting.
they're-
It looks like the Moon narrative or something like
Right. You're
Groundhog
on
Day kind of weirdness. It's
Yeah,
the
like the
narrative's
movie,
intriguing. I don't know how the gameplay is going to be, but a lot of people there's like a cult following behind Prey that people really like it.
If you look at the video of the gameplay, it looks
Watch
pretty.
the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely watch the trailer on that. And then they're coming out with Skyrim remastered for PS4.
I saw that. That looks good too. Actually, the graphic jump looks insane.
Right.
Oh, really? It's like
Yeah, the
it's a
environment
game.
looks wonderful. Honestly,
Okay.
it looks like a cinematic walking through it through
Oh,
gameplay.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. I never picked
then-
up Skyrim, so I'd like to go.
Yeah,
Skyrim was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
like.
Skyrim's badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fallout's coming out with some updates, like with Nuka World. It's like another kind of area. It looks like a theme park kind of thing.
Okay.
And then to kind of course, I'm getting back into it. Elder Scrolls Online. They're coming out with Dark Brotherhood and everything of that sort. That looks pretty cool. But one of the biggest things that at E3 this year, at least when I was doing my research,
for it.
have you guys heard about the Screaming Lady?
No.
No.
Oh, you got to look at it.
Grapefruit woman?
No, she.
Wow,
That's
that's really
pretty good. That
Yeah.
was pretty good.
You got some practice.
What?
Just gotta loosen up your throat a little bit.
Relax the jaw.
Citric,
Yeah, relax the
citric
jaw.
gas, the citric juices.
Yeah,
All right, we gotta
So
wrap
what
up.
is that, Ian? What is that, Ian?
There's this lady at the conference, and like every time like they got done showing a video or someone came out, she's literally screaming like "Woo!" the whole time.
Yeah, I
And
heard
so
that.
they
That
have
was actually Rocco?
Yes, it was me. Everybody thought it was a lady.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
It's so wonderful.
That'd be
But
funny if
it's-
she was like, her voice was just like, yeah, ooh.
All right.
What were you
So,
saying, Ian?
You gotta check out. It's like just Google E3 Screaming Lady, and they've
Okay.
cut it to where like it's like
Nice.
snippets of it, and it's hilarious because like she's you can hear her over everyone else clapping, and she like extends it past everyone clapping and cheering. So it's just like this lady is crazy.
She's
All right,
like
we'll look out
totally
for
looking
that,
for some
Ian.
attention somehow.
She's probably drunk.
Exactly.
Or just really, 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 really loves games.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Like, unbelievably excited about the games that are coming out.